at here. Basically, obviously the Figaro, I mean, we all love the Figaro's chrome, and you know, you've got lots of chrome on the car. Obviously the bumpers are chrome, this is plastic chromed, this is plastic chromed as well, and these are plastic chromed as well. These are metal chromed. Obviously it's quite a strong part to the car, and what tends to happen over a period of time, especially with the cars, if they've been outside, they tend to corrode. So you'll see when you look close to the chrome, you'll see a lot of pitting, and what you can actually do is you can replace these parts. So what we've got here is we've got the replacement parts ready to go, and these parts have been provided by the Figaro shop, but I'm sure there's other companies as well on our website that could help you with this, but I'm not going to say how much they are, because obviously people watching this video, basically today, it might be like 2 years time they're going to watch the video and I'm going to say a price and the price will be different. So what I always say is going to our website, which is www.figaroownersclub.com, and I've actually got the screen up here so you can have a little look. Basically along the top here we've got a lot of buttons, and one of them is products and services, so you click on that, and in here you've got a row of information called restore and upgrade. So we will be putting this information in here, and this is where you'll find it. So in the restore and upgrade part of the website, you'll have obviously the information about what we're going to talk about today. So moving on, we need to obviously get the existing brackets off of the car, which is what we're going to do next. Okay, so the first part is removing this capping. Basically the unit consists of the main unit, it's a left hand and a right hand unit, and the capping that sits over the top of it. So there's two parts to it. So the capping's here. What you need to do to get to the capping is you need basically a spanner, which is an 8mm spanner, and basically through here you undo this, and you can see the nut in there. Don't use a screwdriver, always use a socket set, because you'll get much better grip than trying to put a screwdriver on the end of that. So we're going to do that next. Obviously undo that and take it from there. Okay, so I've removed the screw. Something that's worth having or buying from Halfords or a car accessories tool shop is this magnetic little unit here, which makes it much easier, because obviously what's happened is this bolt is in there, and if you're not careful, what happens, it'll fall down inside there, and then you've got to try and pick it out. So this little thing's got a little magnetic end on it, and it's really useful for pulling out bolts. So we've taken that out now, and this is what we've got. So basically you've got this seal area around here, and you can see this is slightly broken here, which we can repair, and here you've got obviously the main knuckle hinge. So what we need to do is take this off next, okay, and then obviously take the other side off, and then the whole back boot can then be removed, and then we've got access to take this hinge area off. So to get to these parts, we've got an Allen key here. So we've got two Allen keys in here. That's quite easy to do. That's an 8mm Allen key. Basically undo that, and on the other side of that, inside here, you'll see the nuts are welded to the actual boot, so you don't have to worry about that. Basically remove them Allen keys, Allen bolts, and that'll obviously come away. The bottom part is a little bit more tricky. What you've got is you've got basically in here, down in here, you've got a 10mm nut just on the other side of there. So what you need to do that, you need this set up. So you need it on a small setting, then a long setting, undo the nut, and then this whole assembly will be taken off. Now I think the easiest way of doing this, I have done a few before, is basically to take off one at a time and leave the other one in situ. You've got this in situ as well, and what we're going to do is we're going to create something to hold the boot here to stop it falling. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a piece of wood here, and we're going to put some cloth around it, obviously to protect the metalwork, and then hold the whole thing in place whilst you're replacing this unit. So that's the plan. So you can see all I've done is I've wrapped a duster around a piece of wood here just to hold the boot, stop it falling. Okay, so I lowered the boot down first before I actually did the last piece, but you can see it's off now, so this area is exposed, and then you've got this rubber seal here which we're going to take off. So that's everything off of the car now, and obviously going to clean this area up. These are the bits we're left with the which is the old unit, and we're going to replace this. Don't forget it is left-handed and right-handed, so you need to make sure you get them right round the right way to do that. So we're going to do that next. Pop them back on again in a second, and looking good. So you can see I've before I did that I actually lowered the boot down obviously, and we've got a piece of wood with the duster on it. Basically, as I said, it's quite easy. This is the worst one to get to, is this one here, because it's a bit awkward. You can actually get to it under here, or you can push the plastic boot tray to one side and just manage to get the spanner in there. So basically 2 nuts the other side of here. This one is fairly easy, as I said, and now it's all exposed. So what's come off of it, this is the old one and this is the new one going on. It's hard, I guess in the film it's really hard to see whether you can see any difference, but I can assure you there is. This is really faded and it doesn't look good, especially this. I don't know whether you can pick that up, how sort of pitted this is. And this is the lovely new one, which looks superb. Really easy job to do. I mean, this is what I love about the Figaro. It's just so easy to change these bits, unlike a modern car. Basically, pretty much most of the car you can just obviously unbolt bits and put new bits on. So we're going to pop these back on now. Going to clean the boot up next. Just clean this area up. I put a bit of wax on it. It's always good to wax underneath and protect it all first before we put the new one back on. So just to clarify, there's 3 rubber gaskets. What you will notice if you look at these, they've actually got L on them, which means left. L on that one, obviously that's too small to put that on, so L for left. Obviously this is the other item and that's the other item. So keeping these all together on one part of the work surface, and then obviously you've got the other part over here, so always trying to work in an orderly fashion. So I've cleaned these rubbers as well, get them as clean as you can before you put them on, and I've given the car a good polish now, so that looks pretty good now. Everything's polished, ready to go to reassemble it. Okay, so I actually found it much easier to get these nuts on by coming from basically inside the back of the car underneath the rear boot here, because obviously you can get your arm round and you can actually feel where the nut's going to go, and then away you go. I can actually feel that now, and I can put my nut basically onto it, and it's nice and easy. There you go, I've got it on there. So basically loosen, you know, get it as tight as you can with your finger, and that's it. That's on there now. That's pretty good. So get to this one from under the back here with your hand and do it up nice and easy, or as tight as you can get it anyway, with a spanner next. And then obviously what we're going to do now is we're going to have to take this wood out, pull this rear boot up, and then bolt, put the Allen bolts back through these 2 positions here. Nice and easy. So that's one on, working pretty well as well. Nice and easy to reassemble. As I said, just take your time. Put these nuts in from around here, and obviously with the boot up like this, you can just get this capping on by just putting it on here and holding it, and then all you need the other side is just a spanner. Basically hand do it first, put the bolt in the end, and just obviously insert it into here, keep turning it, and eventually it will just connect with this capping, and that's it. Nice and easy, and she looks really nice now. much nicer, much more blingy. So get the other one done and that'll be the job finished. So this one I've actually done without putting the wood and the duster in between the boot, keeping the boot down, and it is a little bit easier. It's just a bit more fiddly to get to these nuts under here. So really you've got a choice. You can either do it the first way I did it on the left hand side, which was have the boot up, get to the nuts from the top, or if you can get to the nuts from under here. You can keep the boot down into this position, and it's probably a little bit easier to do it like this, and then obviously undo those two nuts, and the whole thing should come away whilst the boot's in the closed position. Now something that I did notice when I tried to put the boot down is basically this adjustment here has slightly moved, so there is a little tiny piece of adjustment here. So when you lift this up, what you may have to do is loosen these two off and basically pull the boot up or down. There's a small amount of adjustment here, and what happens is if it's not adjusted as it should be, then it won't come down properly and it won't connect properly here. So just a little tip there, just to make sure that you, before you put the capping on, maybe just try the boot, make sure everything fits okay, make sure you can unlock it from inside, and obviously then put the capping on, because I just did it a second ago and I found that obviously it was slightly different adjustment here, so it didn't quite fit. So all done now, beautiful nice pieces of new chrome, so looking really nice now. And just also another tip here with the pieces that you take off, certainly speaking to the camera, certainly the Figaro shop, we know if you take these parts off, they'll give you quite a good discount if you return them, because obviously they can then get them re-chromed. So basically the procedure is you order your new hinges from Toby and his team, and you do the job like I've done today, and then when it's finished, basically post them, pack them all up, post them off to him, and then obviously they then give you a discount back off of or a credit note, also, or a payment back to you for the return of the hinges. And that's the case really with 3 items that I've done on the car. The hinges here, these can be re-chromed. Another one to do on the car is the wing mirror columns here. This is just for a wedding that we're getting the cars ready for. My son's getting married very soon, so this is a wedding. But anyway, this is another area that you can do, and also you can do the handles as well. So all of these items, these 3 items, can be replaced, and it really does make a huge difference when they're done. It looks really nice, and as I said, as you can afford it, it's the sort of thing you can do in your spare time at the weekend. It's not a huge job, it just needs a few basic tools. And as I said, that's what I love about the Figaro, is you can just change these parts over at not a particularly high cost, and you've got yourself a fantastic car, really blingy if you like, and lovely and shiny, and looks like new again. So that's all from me. I'll be back with another video very shortly. See you next time. Bye.